Hello everyone, we are Group 3. Today we are going to talk about self-tolerance. First, let's start with the basic concept.
What is self-tolerance? Our immune system has a very important job. It must distinguish between self and non-self. Self means our own body cells, and non-self includes things like bacteria, viruses, or cancer cells. When the immune system finds non-self invaders like bacteria, it attacks them to protect us.
However, it must not attack our own cells. This ability to avoid attacking the body's own cells and tissues is defined as self-tolerance. How does the immune system know the difference? It uses a system involving the MHC, or Major Histocompatibility Complex. Think of the MHC as an ID card. Immune cells like lymphocytes use receptors to check this ID card. If the MHC matches self, the immune system does not attack. If it recognizes a non-self protein or a mismatch, it attacks. For example, our immune system attacks harmful bacteria, but thanks to self-tolerance, it does not attack our all important organs like the thyroid gland or the pancreas. Why is self-tolerance so important? If self-tolerance fails, the immune system makes a mistake. It starts attacking the body's own tissues. This leads to autoimmune diseases. Examples include Graves' disease and type 1 diabetes. Now let's look at the mechanism. How do T cells learn to distinguish self from non-self? This happens through two main stages. The first stage is central tolerance. This takes place in the thymus. First, there is positive selection. Here, T cells are tested to see if they can recognize the MHC at all. If they can't interact with the MHC, they are not useful, so they die. Next is negative selection, which is very important for safety. In this step, the thymus checks if a T cell reacts too strongly to self-antigens. If a T cell recognizes and attacks the body's own components, it is dangerous. These dangerous cells are destroyed through a process called apoptosis. Only the safe T cells are allowed to leave the thymus. However, sometimes a few self-reactive T cells escape the thymus. This brings us to the second stage, peripheral tolerance. This happens in the spleen and lymph nodes. Its job is to block these escaped T cells from causing damage. There are a few ways this works. One way is energy. If a T cell binds to a cell antigen without a co-stimulation signal from a dendritic cell, it effectively goes to sleep and stops working. Another way involves Treg cells or regulatory T cells. These cells act like police officers. They suppress the dangerous T cells using chemicals like IL-10 and TGF-beta. Let me summarize our presentation. Self-tolerance is the immune system's ability to avoid attacking the self. Both central tolerance in the thymus and peripheral tolerance in the lymph nodes work together to prevent autoimmunity. When these systems fail, it results in autoimmune diseases like Graves' disease or type 1 diabetes. Thank you for listening.